So there was a court case today in Galway, and it had to do with Golfgate when they all went down on the golf and jolly. Members of the Oireachtas, both Shannon Levin and Dáil Levin, including the minister too. Minister of Agriculture was there. And they all went down on the golf and jolly. And guess who else was there? A Supreme Court judge, who's what we're going to talk about now. A Supreme Court judge, the highest court in the land, a Supreme Court judge that went off on the golf and jolly. Along with ambassadors, along with people, members of the media, OT and ex-OT, etc. And I suppose I thought OT was supposed to be independent, but you look at, they were caught perfectly, all of them together, and then along with some people that were bondholders, shareholders, other things like that, very questionable things the media never called out. Fudge of funds, people with fudge of funds, they were all there having a jolly. And a EU commissioner, Phil Hogan, wasn't it great? The whole lot of them were there. And they all just, the day beforehand, the rules basically said, the day beforehand they changed the rules to the peasants, you and I, the peasants, not to do this, not to do that. And they went off and broke every fucking one of them. This is the excellent excuse by Seamus Wolf today, who's a Supreme Court judge, and I know, not a judge in real life, but I know a lawyer. And every time the government releases any kind of legislation, any changes to legislation or to the law or things like that, he's looking at it straight away and he's just like, what did the government change here? I need to know what the government is in law, what's law. So he looks at all the COVID legislation and everything like that comes out, just so he knows what is in the legislation, if that makes any sense. And I'm sure to fuck, Seamus Wolf, being a Supreme Court judge, would have looked at the legislation the government brought in, whatever it said, and saying that he didn't know the legislation, more or less. He didn't know. And he's the Supreme Court judge. And I'm sure he had to look at it, the legislation, and make sure, or I'm sure his department, or somebody in the department, in the Supreme Court system, had to look at the legislation and say, is it constitutional? Is it going by the Constitution? It's not infringing on civil liberties, which we all know it is. We all know it is. It doesn't take a genius to find that out. But yeah, apparently Seamus Wolf didn't know the law. He didn't know what was legislation, but the peasants had to know what the legislation was. If the peasants done that, because the judge wouldn't. If I went up to the court in the morning and said I didn't know about the 5k rule which they brought in, I didn't know about it, the judge would be like, you're a fucking cunt, and probably fine me and send me to prison, probably have me executed at dawn, because that's why they have utter contempt towards all members of the public that pay them. They just want to treat us like fucking prisoners of war. But yeah, Seamus Wolf basically went to the court. You did, like, the judge should have went fucking all at him. A Supreme Court judge in court. like let's be fair, nobody be found, nothing to happen. Like, let's just say it's straight. It's just a kind of show, just to say to people, look, it's just there for show. They're trying to make out, that it can be held to account. But we all know they couldn't give a shit, and it's just for show. At the end of it, nothing to be done about it. Next, they're still having the parties. Like, let's be fair, they probably had one last week. They probably, straight away after this court case, they probably went off and had a jolly down the Clifton Golf Society, because why not? But again, this is the thing we need to understand, that he's still a Supreme Court judge. Like, this is the thing. He broke the law, and he's supposed to be a judge. He broke the legislation, and if an only citizen done that, to be fined and put in prison. And again, he broke it, and he wasn't got rid of, and and he's still there. Whatever about Phil Hogan, at least the amount of public pressure was on him to resign and go, especially about him on his phone. But yeah, OT, where was that? What happened with him on his phone? He should have got penalty points or fine for it. But fuck knows what happened, and nobody ever questioned why Drew Harris was told about it. We need to ask that question too, but not to be heard of. They're only doing this in the media. It was on the media today, which was surprising. Just to say they can, and this is the word, pretend that they can be held to account. And the word is pretend, because at the end of the day, nothing will be fucking done about it. Let's be fair. They were caught red-handed. And let's be fair, there must be a photo of them somewhere in the hotel. Somebody must have took a photo of them with their hands around each other, having drinks and everything like that, and just laughing at people for wearing masks and social distancing and all that. They're just, like, literally, let's be fair, they're just all laughing at us. Like, literally, they all were probably just laughing at us and just saying, like, look at all these peasants and we can do whatever we want. And the sheer uproar that caused in the country, which should have brought down the government. Like, let's be fair, that was basically just saying a big fuck you to everybody in the country. That an ambassador was there, that members of the Oireachtas were there, Shannon there, and a minister. European Commissioner, a Supreme Court judge, an XOT Besetter, other bondholders, things like that. Like, let's be fair, the whole establishment was there. The only thing we were missing is the fucking Ursula von der Leyen being there telling them what to do. But the world, like, you know, straight. And I don't know how that didn't bring down the government, because that was worse. Well, Boris Johnson's thing, like the way they just shot themselves in the foot, completely over in England that time. But yeah, it's just a mess. Like, but again, nobody be held to account. Like Brian Cowen's still there. Barry Cowen, isn't it? Barry Cowen. He's still there. He's still in Fianna Fáil. He lost his ministerial role, but he's still there. He's still there, and he should be gone. Like, let's be fair. But yeah, isn't it a great country? That's all I say. That's all I say to people.